Hey, how are you? Hello, Tony. Hello, Don. Hello, Sina. How are you today? Thank you, Tony, for your words. Yeah, I just hope. Oh, give me 1 second. Right there. Okay. So I just hope that my lessons and I'm not saying my classes that or the lessons that I give. I'm saying the lessons that I learned, the all the experience shared that we have here. It's somehow useful for you. I would like to share everything that I have walked, that I have lived, that I have mistakenly did. So you don't need to repeat all of these mistakes. You don't have to have uh, this frustration, this anxiety. This I mean a regular journey, right? A regular journey. It's my dream that I save you that discomfort, that like that hard time about the trading journey. Because I mean I'm not gonna lie, the trading journey, it's a very rewarding life once you stick to your process, once you start following your rules, once you build your edge. But on the meantime, while you are trying to do all of that, it's it's such a challenge. It's such an experience. So yeah. All right. Hey Liu, what's up? Hello, Sebastian. Hola Alex. Hola Felipe. Hello Sven. Hey Carnifax Ken. Hello Kiran. CA, Jason, Randall, Linda. Hi. So let's get started. Today I had an amazing day. Today I had an amazing day. I took 3 trades. I know that's kind of weird for me, but I had a first attempt. Um, I had a first attempt on AMD that actually failed, and I didn't want to take the 84% rule because I I was kind of hesitant about the all the strength on AMD this morning. So like, well, I'm gonna give it a try because my setup was there. So I was just playing my edge. I was just playing probabilities, but my bias was more uh, about a sell off. So I didn't take the 84% rule on AMD, and I was just waiting, and I waited for two nice opportunities, and I'm gonna show you in a minute. All right. Okay. Sven, you learn things about yourself, and not all is good. I need to change behavior. Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, um, and let me tell you something about this, Sven. And this, I mean, this is for all, but especially because Sven and me, we have been talking about some experiences on our own journeys, and I would like to tell you something about trading, and this might sound like like uh, different to what you read usually about discipline and trading and good habits and everything. And I just want to tell you something. And this is the performance coach talking, right? And not just your friend Neto. This is based on performance. I like to focus my trading on my strengths. All right. So that's something that I usually push other people to do. So base your edge or build your edge based on your strengths and not on what other people is saying, right? So if you are not so patient, I mean, why? Let's see it like this. If you are if you are impatient, if you are aggressive, if you take a risk in your real life, it's gonna be super hard to actually change everything about your personality just to fit into a strategy. All right. So my recommendation is always try to find your edge, try to build your edge around your strengths, so that way following your rules feels natural. All right. Sticking to your system feels like second nature, right? So because you are actually doing what you like to do, because you are doing what you are good at, right? So this is something that I tell you all the time. I mean, for if you are on Traders Lab, this is gonna sound very familiar. If you are on the accelerator or any other community on the Scarface ecosystem, this sounds some familiar, but it's always better to fit your strategy into your personality that fit your personality into someone else's strategy, right? So I just want to tell that. Think about it. You don't need to. You don't need to agree with me. This is something personal, but that's why I'm always pushing you guys to find your edge based on your strengths. I mean, you don't need to follow my playbook. You don't need to follow Tony's or Jack's playbook. Find whatever works better for you based on your time available, based on your risk tolerance, based on how skilled you are, on how fast you can execute your orders, how well you can manage, like take a loss. So all that need to be like, you need to find your strengths, and then you need to base your trading strategy, your trading style on that. All right. So all right. So that's it. That's it. Yeah. Sorry. I know most of you are coming here just to to understand different entry opportunities and trades, but sometimes I think this is the kind of stuff that I like to share. This is the kind of stuff that I use on the trading performance coaching program. So it's just my way to tell you that I care about you, and I hope you find consistency and profitability. And if my experience works for you, I'm gonna be the happiest trader around. All right. Do you do live trading? I don't, Sebastian. I don't. I usually share my trading ideas, my trading thesis on the Scarface community. If you are part of it, that's awesome. You can look for my ideas on the admins channel. If you are not part of the Scarface community and you would like to join, let me know and I can send you a link to join, and it's gonna be a nice experience. You're gonna learn a lot. Um, Alex, you got stopped on both trades on AMD, but risk management on the second one. All right, Jason, what does the purple line mean? This is the five. Let me take a look. Yeah, this is the 5 minute opening range high, and this is the 1 minute opening range high, and the dotted line is the 5 minute opening range low. That's the purple line. Um, Thank you, Declan. Don, trading releases all your demons, brings up. Yeah. Hello, UK. Hello, Agony. Hey, Joe. How are you? All right, all right. Hello, Sabrina. Hey, look, I'm glad you like these things. Or even if you don't like it, you need they are important. All right. All right. Okay. So, all right, guys. So this morning, something happened with AMD. It was ripping like crazy. It Look at this. I mean, it started. It opened right here, 180. It opened right here, 180, and 3 minutes later we were right here, 183.70, right? So it had this pullback, but first, Felipe, and this is for you, Felipe. First, this is just too early for me. I don't take trades on the first 10 minutes. I don't trade I don't take trades on the first 10 minutes, and I usually don't take trades on the first 15 minutes. But uh that that's something that I try, but my rule is no trades on the first 10 minutes, because I like to develop these, right? The 5 minute opening range, kind of the bias of the day. Look at this. If you are taking a trade on the first 5 minutes and you are thinking that you are following the market, you might be mistakenly taking a trade, because the market is just waking up, right? So I like to wait at least 10-15 minutes. So yeah, I understand this pullback that you are saying. It's just like this 183. It doesn't mean anything for me. It doesn't mean anything for me, because on the 15-minute chart, it's not saying anything, at least on the past 10 days. Uh, yeah, so I wasn't considering this 183 key level, but later in the day it became very relevant, right? It became very relevant because we actually had this pullback all the way to 183. So this was the first opportunity here. I think this was the first trade they Jack or Tony took. So for me, and again, this is me being, I'm not gonna say like an expert, but a seasoned trader on AMD. This was just too much in my opinion. So they took this break and retest of the 5 minute opening range. And I know the reason they took this is because they trust the setup. So sometimes you need to let it work, right? You need to let it work. So they took this trade here. They were aiming at least to 186 to have a 1 to 2.7 risk reward ratio trade. The stop loss was the 5 minute opening range high. So they took this trade. It tried to work, but it needed a deeper pullback, right? Because again, this is just too much for even for AMD, right? Even for AMD, this was just too much. So I'm assuming they were stopped out right here, 956. And I was listening, or I was reading, they took the 84% rule. So this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of the 84% rule. Why? What is happening here? Well, it's reclaiming this 5 minute opening range high, and also uh, it's maintaining the market structure. So as you can see here, this is an actual higher low, right? This is a higher low. That's why this play is still on motion. So once you reclaim the 5 minute opening range high, you can enter into a position here, and you can have the same risk as you can see here, and the same targets as you can see here. So this is the second trade they took. So I'm assuming some of you took this trade. Who took this trade? Alex, you took this 947 right here, 947, 956 right here. Well, that's nice. I mean, Alex, that's perfectly fine, because this is how you take a loss, right? It's a control. It's a control risk. It's a control loss. You don't play your emotions. I mean, this is just you assuming that your system is not perfect, that it has a good win rate, but it's not a 100% win rate. And as you can see here, you had the good idea. I mean, you had the good thesis. Just, I mean, it didn't work right here. It just needed a deeper pullback all the way to 183, and it actually happened to work perfectly, right? So yeah, don't worry about that. And I'm glad you took your loss right here, 956. Kiran, what are the blue lines? Yeah, no. The blue lines, Kiran, these blue lines are the previous highs and lows on the daily chart. All right. So let me, I'm going to show you here. Give me 1 second. Look at this. What we are looking here, AMD. All right. As you can see here, they are previous highs and lows on the daily chart. All right. That's what these blue lines mean. All right. And all right. So let's give just a reminder about key levels here. So, okay. Yellow lines are previous day high and low. Blue lines, or these light blue lines, are pre-market high and low. The purple lines are the 5-minute and the 1-minute opening range high and low. The blue lines, or the dark blue lines, are the previous highs and lows on the daily chart. And the white lines are key levels on the 15-minute chart on the previous, I don't know, like a few days back, right? All right. I think that's something that we still need to tell people, because I mean, there's people coming to the channel for the first time. If this is your first time, welcome to this community. And there's also people that they just forget what all these lines mean, right? But okay, well, now that we are done with that, so these are the two first opportunities to take calls that I watch on AMD. But then after taking this 185.50 or this 186.50, actually this is 186.50, look at this. We started to fail. And look what the markets were doing. For some reason, QQQ was super weak since very early in the morning, since very early in the session, and SPY started following QQQ. So right here, AMD was trying to hold, but once the market started to fail like this, look at this right here, it was 10:30 in the morning. SPY was at the low of the day. It was breaking out the 5-minute opening range. But look at QQQ. QQQ was actually way lower, and it was below the pre-market low. So right here, you are looking for weakness, right? And as you can see here, look how it failed to create a new high right here. And it was actually using this 185.50 as a ceiling or as resistance for this. So these guys, if you were paying attention to this is kind of your head and shoulders, right? So this is kind of your head and shoulders. This is your neckline, and where this position is starting right after the retest of this 185.50. So it broke here, lower high, all right, lower high, and then it's making a lower low. Retest. What is retesting right here? 5-minute opening range, failing to create a higher high. So it's going lower, lower, low. And this is the whole story, right? So head and shoulders right here, failing to create a new high, retest of this key level here, but now to the downside, break of this neckline here. This is exactly where I open my position, right? This is exactly where I opened my position. It was 1034 and I started scaling right here, 1040, right at the 5-minute opening range. Look at this, nice reaction. Another push to the downside. We were testing 183. 183 was important because it was this local low and also this key level that it was the first pullback on the day. So on this push, I sold a little bit more. I was looking at this key level to actually hold, rejection, rejection, and more rejection. On this push, on the 181, I took more and I was just waiting for this area here, this 180 area here. And with this reaction right here, 1113, I was out of my position. But on the way down, as you can see here, you had a few, well, another opportunity here. I mean, if you were watching this head and shoulders fail to create a new high, break and retest of this 185.50 to the downside, this was my entry, right? This was my entry. But if you miss this, you also had this second chance to enter to the downside. It was the break and retest of this 183 key level, this order block created here on this local low. So break and retest right here. So you had a second chance. And look at this. Your risk was very low here, because you are looking for the rejection of this 183 or the top of these retesting candles. But your reward or your potential reward was very good right here. I mean, just to this area, 180.50, or let's say 180, because that was the actual key level, the opening price. Look at this. This was almost a 1-to-5 risk reward ratio trade. So I'm going back to the comments. I would like to read if someone took any of these two trades here. Don, you took earlier just after Jack, trim at the first key and sold last one on the, okay. 84% was better for sure. Yes, it had like more punch, right? Renato, I took the first one. I got positive at 10% because of the lack of continuation, but I struggled taking another entry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. That's what happens with the 84% rule. Sometimes it's like, I mean, it depends a lot on several factors, right? Like, I mean, how much buying power you still have on the day, how convinced you are about this move, if you were planning for this move. And also, I mean, there's people that they don't trust the same name twice on a day, and that's fine, right? I mean, it's again, it's part of your style. So me personally, I barely take 84% rules. It's like, oh well, okay, well, I'm gonna give you one chance, and if it doesn't work, I'm gonna try to find something else. It's just I don't give second chances to the tech names. So that's why I don't use the 84% too much. But I mean, that again, that's a very personal thing. Jason, Neto, are you using Webull to buy options? Yes. Yeah, I use Webull, Jason, and I only use market orders. I know this is kind of counterintuitive if you are coming from a different community or you are experienced on trading, but I find out that the market orders are great to my style. So I don't care if I'm not getting like the best of the best price, because I'm a momentum trader. So I'm using the market orders, and if my choice was correct, the speed and momentum of my trade are gonna wash whatever lagging or whatever uh, difference on price there is. So yes, I use Webull, and I only use market orders. Um, Thank you, Don. Yes, please subscribe to the channel. I think we are 617 or something like that. So thank you very much, guys, for pushing this channel. Scouting Corner. Kevin, before you move forward from AMD, will the 10:12 a.m. have been an entry retesting of the 5-minute opening range high? 10:12. Give me 1 second here. 10:12. I think yes. I think yes. It will be something. Where is the 9:45 here? Okay. Okay, so this is the yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think it will be something like this. Just remember, because you are in, well, again, this is just my opinion. This is just too much of a move for AMD. So you should be less aggressive on your targets, right? I mean, I will be looking, for example, this one here, 186.50. It was, well, this was an amazing trade. Well, the 1 to 4.5 risk reward ratio trade. But yeah, you are right. I mean, this is the break and retest of the 15. Look at this right here, of the 15-minute opening range. So yeah, there's not so much displacement, but yeah, you're right. I mean, this is the break and retest of the 15-minute opening range and continuation. Yeah, you are right. You are right there, Kevin. Beautiful trade. I love puts. I love puts. That's my life. CA. All right. So the 84% rule, CA, it's when you are looking for a play like this. Look at this. When you are looking for a play like this, you were looking, or we were looking here, the break, displacement, and retest of the 5-minute opening range. All right. So we got the retest, we got the reaction, and this move was actually in motion, right? This move was actually working, but for some reason it retraced and it went below or stop loss. All right. So this is one of these times when the stop loss and the invalidation level, it's different, right? So this is my stop loss just because I enter right here, but the invalidation level should be something around here, 182.72. Why? Because this is the actual previous low, right? So this is the actual previous low. So we are stop out right here, 956, right? CA, just type if you are following me here, right? Okay, so we were stop out right here because the risk on this trade was only to the bottom of these candles, or this 5-minute opening range low. I'm sorry, 5 opening range high, 5-minute opening range high. But we had a deeper pullback. But look at this pullback. This pullback is actually higher than the previous low, right? So this is a higher low. So because the market structure on this move is intact, you may look for an entry at the same point, risking the same amount and looking for the same target. So this is kind of a mirror of the first trade, right? But because the market structure is intact and you actually reclaim these same levels, or you actually have a reaction on this same level, so reclaim of this 5-minute opening range high, and right at the same point of the previous entry, you take your entry, You keep your same risk and you keep your same targets, and that's what the 84% rule means. All right. If you are part of the Scarface community on the Discord, please tag me on the chat, and I will send you the 84%. We have an 84% rule video, so I can share with you right there. All right. Just if you are part of that community. If you are not, just send me a message on any of the videos or the channel, and I will make sure that you receive that. Jason, I don't know why I can find market order. I only can use limit orders. Jason, you are part of Scarface communities. If you are, again, just tag me on the Discord, and I will show you where you can find the market orders and limit orders and on the advanced orders. Cuz when you get a chance, can you take a look at Apple? No, cuz we are not friends with Apple. We don't trust Apple. Yeah, no, just give me a few minutes and I'll be there. The Marius Barajas. Market structure shows the true stop out level. Yes. Perfectly explained. Thank you, Don. Okay, we'll do. Okay. Yes, it's called like that because that's the probability of it working. I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent with you guys. I've never done the math to see if it's actually an 84% win rate. Right? But that's the way I learned that, and that's how I call it. For being honest, it actually works pretty well. It's just I don't like to use it. But yeah, I mean, it's called 84% rule because it's supposed to win, to have a win rate of 84% when it presents the same entry conditions, right? With the market structure is intact, and it's just a few minutes later in the day. I mean, this doesn't apply if it's like 3 hours later or on the power hour on the afternoon or something. It needs to be like a few minutes apart, right? All right, so that was AMD, guys. I had this amazing trade. I took my trade right here and I closed it right there. So today it was just amazing. What happened with Amazon? Well, this is something that you are going to see a lot on all the names today. So because we tried to open to the upside, we had some continuation on the movement from the market yesterday. Markets yesterday, they just rip. They were just non-stop going up. But then they found a failing point. They found a ceiling. QQQ was weaker than SPY, but both of them, they were just downtrending, right? So you will see that there's a lot of opportunities where at the opening you had some chances to take calls, but later in the day you are just looking to the downside. So here, guys, this is Amazon, and I was looking. Let me show you the 15-minute chart. All right, I was looking at this 224 key level. It was the previous Friday highs, rejection on Monday pre-market. So these 224, look at this nice break, displacement and retest, and look at the reaction right here. Look at the reaction right here above this 223.80. That was a key level on the daily chart. But I had this 224 on my 15-minute chart. So break, displacement, retest. So I will open my position right here, 945. I will have my risk right at the bottom of this retesting candle. Look at the reaction right here. So the candle wick goes below this 224, but the bodies of these candles are above these 224. So this is the price action we like. All right. So risk at the bottom of this candle, and my target will be, what is this? 224.80. Well, this is just a 1 to 3 risk reward rate to trade. If you were aiming to high of the day, it was a 1 to 2.5, and you actually got it like 5 minutes later. When you see that this thing is failing, you just manage your position. You don't, I mean, once you start looking at this, once you are above the 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, you start managing your position, and you don't let these kind of trades turn red. All right. I don't want to know that trades like this with a nice risk reward, you just let them turn red. Try to manage your position right here. When it starts going above the 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, you need to start trimming, right? You need to lock in profits, or you need to have your finger on the trigger so you can actually react to whatever happens right there. Okay, so that was the first chance for Amazon. It was a nice trade here. It didn't have continuation to go higher. Remember, there's a huge gap above. Let me show you right here. There's a huge gap above. This is the gap after earnings. Yeah, this is the gap after earnings. We are still below the daily 20 SMA. So watch out. I mean, I will be looking for reactions right here, right? Can you see here? This is not magic, guys. I mean, it's rejecting this 225, exactly the daily 20 SMA. This is not magic. So just make sure that you are aware of this key level right here, because if we keep failing, what is this thing doing? I told you, for me, this thing needs to come back to 210 maybe. But, well, that's just my opinion. So huge gap above, all right? But you have this 225 daily 20 SMA right there. So just make sure that you are aware, all right? So after failing to create a new high and failing and dropping on this previous local low right here, like let's say this is kind of your order block here, right? So you had this break, displacement, and retest. So the retest, it's in two different places. First, 224, that was our key level for going long, but now it's rejecting 224, and also it's rejecting 223.80. 223.80, it's a key level on the daily chart. So this is a stronger key level than this 224, all right? Just because it's on the daily chart, right? So right here, guys, right here, you are watching this rejection. Look at the markets right here. SPY was at the bottom of the chart, just above the daily gap, but it was looking weak. But what about QQQ? Well, QQQ was looking very weak, and this was a great opportunity in my eyes, right? This is the break and retest of these two key levels, 223.80, 224. Rejection, nice price action here. So I will open my position right here. My stop loss will be at the top of this candle, and I will be looking, look at this, intraday key levels. So this is the 1 minute opening range right here. It was a 1 to 3.5 reward ratio trade, but look, no reaction right here. No reaction right here. So I will be moving my target to the next intraday key level. This is the pre-market high. So look at this. This was a 1 to 4.4 risk reward ratio trade, and this was just amazing. This was a very, very nice trade. Okay, so anyone took something on Amazon? Don, you had Amazon on your list. Not solid. Hello, Eileen. Banker hours. Eileen, you work in a bank? I didn't know. All right, Eileen, you were on Amazon. Your planned entries and exits were not my actual entries and exits, thanks to my broker mess up. But it's good to see it work. Which one, Eileen? Calls or puts? Felipe, sell on the candle of 9 a.m. is a good trade. Do you mean the 10 a.m.? Eileen, you entered on calls early. Right. Yeah, this was a nice trade. Very easy to spot right here. 224, round number, side number. And also it was a key level on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, that was an easy break, displacement, retest, nice reaction right here. Yeah, this was a very nice trade. Felipe, yes, 10 a.m. All right. 10 a.m. Something happened at 10 a.m. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. Did we have something? I think PPI is tomorrow. No. The Marius. Yes, I actually. Give me 1 second. I actually have it handy on my WhatsApp ready to copy and paste because a lot of people have been asking me for this. So guys, just don't make fun of me. It's an experience share. I hope you enjoy it. It's right there, Demarius. It's I just posted that on the comments, right? Okay, Felipe, 10 a.m. Sorry. That broke. Hello. Okay. Hey Lane, I took the 950 candle on Nvidia. Okay, give me a few minutes, Lane. Nvidia is the next one. All right, Nvidia is the next one. All right, guys. So, well, do you have any questions about this Amazon thing? As you can see here, Amazon was showing relative strength because even when the markets were dropping or they kept dropping, right here, 11 in the morning, it actually started climbing up. And with this change of character right here, you actually got this nice retest of previous day high. I know that's an immediate retest, but it's reclaiming and it's reclaiming the previous day high. So every time you are above the previous day high, you are good on the day, you should be bullish. But also it was reclaiming right here. I mean, this was an important key level on the intraday price action, right? Because it was this previous local high, and it's now doing a change of character right here. So this was another good opportunity to the upside, especially because it was showing relative strength, because markets were dropping and this thing was recovering nicely. So that was another opportunity. All right, let's go. Hey, Orlando. Linda, did you say you have a software that draw your levels? It's not a software. It's a trading view tool. It was developed by a member of the community. If you go to the video description or to the channel description, you can take the link for the tool right there. It's not free. It's not free. But it's super affordable. And for being honest, it's super useful. It's a combo. I mean, the one thing that you are watching here, it's the automatic drawing of the intraday key levels, pre-market high and low, previous day high and low, and the 1 and 5 minute opening range. But it also draws the daily gap, and it has on the combo, it has other tools. Very useful. I mean, just go there, take a look. It's super recommended. I use it every day, and it's part of my life now. it saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time because you don't need to draw the levels, and also at the end of the day you don't need to take them away, right? It's just an automatic thing. So next day it's gonna show the refresh ones. It's very nice. It's very nice. So on the video description and the channel description, you can find the link for this tool. All right. Okay. I Coach, I don't know if they have a version for Thinkorswim. I think they do, but I don't know. You can ask on the click on the link, and it's gonna take you to the Trading View page, but you can ask to the developer right there. Do you only watch trade AMD and Amazon every day? Well, I'm always watching them. I'm always watching AMD, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, and some other of the Mac 7 like Meta, Microsoft, Google, and now I've been looking at Palantir and Broadcom, and sometimes I start looking to different names that I'm just messing around, but these are like my main ones, right? It's a slick. What's a slick? Right. Okay. So now let's go to Nvidia. Nvidia was downside the whole day. Downside the whole day. It opened, closed the daily gap, failed on this pre-market high, and I love when it fails on the pre-market high. And this is a tip or trick of mine. When you see that right at the open it fails to reclaim pre-market high or fails to hold pre-market low, just wait for continuation. Like here, it failed to reclaim the pre-market high, failed, rejection, more rejection, and I was just waiting for this. Look at this. It created this order block right here, 183 something, 183.20, let's say. So you had this break, displacement, and retest right here. 953 was the rejection of this order block right here. And also you are kind of failing this previous day close. So failed and rejected pre-market high, broke down this consolidation area, retest, nice rejection. It's taking you to previous day close. That was a very easy trade to spot right here. So you open your position here. Your risk is very small, just the top of these previous candles. And what are you aiming here? Well, you are aiming, well, the next local low. That's this 1 2 3. But look at the reaction. I mean, it had good reaction, but it kept failing. And not only was failing, but QQQ was actually below the 5-minute opening range low. So that is your signal to be patient, stay on your trade, and look at this. I mean, it dropped heavily to 181. So, well, actually all the way to 179. So if you were patient enough to manage your position right here, you actually had a few other opportunities, and they are completely well, there's no reason to keep showing you the markets. The markets just drop the whole day. So you will see here that if you are watching, look at this, if you guys are watching market structure, this is just piece of cake, right? This is just piece of cake. So unless you have a change of character like here, you stay into your position. So if you open your position somewhere here on this area here, you should be having your position or a portion of your position all the way here, all the way here. And this 180, let me show you. This 180 area, this is the 15 minute. Let's go to the 1 hour. Look at this. Look how strong this key area has been. All right. So this 180 key area, 180, 179.50. Look how well it was resistance, 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 support, 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 support again. And what we should be looking now, what we should be looking now. All right. So we should be looking, I mean, you don't want to be trapped around here, right? So what are we waiting tomorrow for Nvidia? The break of this 179 or the break of this 184? I mean, everything inside of this range is just choppy day, right? This should be your no trade zone or your choppy zone, boring zone. Everything here, it's gonna be choppy, boring. Unless you catch the movement from here to here, you will be trapped on this area here. All right. So okay. So let me go to the chat. Lane, you went on Nvidia. Nvidia calls 950. 950. Okay, well, right here, Lane. I'm gonna bring SPY and QQQ again because now it's gonna be handy. Give me 1 second. Right here. So you tried 950 right here. So this was the 1 minute opening range high. Oh, 150 right here. And you were trying at least high of the day, right? That was 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. What was going on right here? Well, actually, that was a nice entry. That was a nice entry. Look at the SPY and QQQ. They were ripping. They were ripping. They were actually going nuts. Something that I'm not showing you here, Lane, it's the ES and the NQ. And on both ES and NQ, I was watching that it was a crowded area here. The ES and the NQ, they had. I think if you, I mean, I don't do it often, but if you are one of these guys that use Fibs, you will see that this area here on the 646 area and 583 area on QQQ, that's a fib line. Again, I don't use it because I'm not an expert using it. I understand how to do it, but I'm not super good at it. But that was the rejection zone for both indices. So right here, I think that was a good entry. I just think that you should be waiting for being above the pre-market high. That will give you like a better entry here, because yeah, I mean right here it looks like you are inside of the of a tight range. As you can see here, the pre-market wasn't telling you too much. Actually, the pre-market was kind of bearish. So right here, again, I understand what you tried here. It was a nice hold of this opening price and this 1 minute opening range. It's just, I'm not super good with the 1 minute opening range trades. I prefer the 5 minute, or like the previous day high and low. So yeah, I understand what you did here. It was just unfortunate because look at this same candle right here on SPY, and look at this same candle right here on QQQ. They were ripping. They were ripping. They were just going to the moon. And I mean, they just run out of fuel. 949. Yeah, that I'm not a fan of fibs, but there's people that, I mean, they base their edge on fibs. It's just I don't trust it. um, all right. Let me see. Anyone took a different trade on Nvidia? I think once something that has been very useful for me on the past weeks and months, it's waiting for clarity. Not sure if I'm explaining myself, but for example, right here, Lane, this is struggling with this key level right here, right? This is struggling with this key level right here, 183.88, almost 184. It's rejecting this 184, and then you had this drop to the opening price, to the 1 minute opening range. But because of this drop, I will start kind of suspecting that, oh well, something is happening here. I mean, this rejection of 184, look how aggressive was this sell-off. So I don't know, like, I will be waiting for more information right here, because if you can't look at this, if you can't actually reclaim and create a new high, it was kind of very easy to start happening this, rejecting this area here. This is 180. Well, I mean, this is not related to anything. Actually, this box is just to identify this area here, right? It was kind of holding this area here, but when it broke, it used this same area, but to the downside. So I don't know, like, those are just my 2 cents, Lane. If it doesn't look easy, I will wait. Because I mean, as you can see here, the best plays are the easiest to spot. So if you have like to crawl against this drop and you need to create a higher high right here, where you have this kind of area here, I don't know, like, it doesn't look like too easy. So I will just say that, right? Like, I mean, if you can wait for, like, the easier plays, instead of trying to guess this, or trying to, like, oh well, this is holding nicely. Okay, well, if this area is holding nicely, all right, well, let's wait for it to show us more strength, right? To show us that it can reclaim not only this level here, but maybe create a higher high right here. It's just that's what happens on at the open. That's what happened at the open. You still don't have like too much information. So that's something that I will say. Like, wait for clarity. All right. Lane, AMD 1004 calls. Probably. Yeah. That Nvidia trade there was also not much displacement after it broke back up through the 1 minute high again. Yes. A change of character will have been better there in Nvidia. Yeah. And Lane, this is something very common, and I watch this every day on the Discord. You don't need to take a trade on the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. I mean, it's it's fine if you wait for more. Actually, as you can see, later than 10 a.m., they happen the best setups. Not only on the tech names, but look at this. Also on SPY, also on QQQ. Actually, QQQ was super easy today. Super easy today. Look at this. How easy it was to spot even here. Look at this. Even here. I mean, you have one retest, two retest. Every low was retested. Can you see? So even on the indices after 10 a.m., the opportunities, yes, I accept it. Maybe they are not as aggressive and with so much momentum like the first 30 minutes, but they look clearer to take. They are easier to identify. So again, do whatever works better for you. I know, actually, I know you take your kids to school, so probably it's actually better if you wait for 10 a.m., right? Yeah, and there's a lot of traders that they don't trade on the first 30 minutes. Actually, my first community, I'm sure I told you a few weeks or months ago. On the first community that I was, it's called Greystone. They only do SPY on the 5 minute chart, and they don't trade until the first 30 minutes. They don't trade. They don't take a trade on the first 30 minutes. So it's, again, it's about clarity. It's about easier trades to spot. Yes, sometimes they missed a huge move, but it's about consistency, right? It's about having a repeatable system. So I'm just I'm just trying to explain that. I mean, just do what works better for you. Um, Sina, I'm noticing that we are back to the time that the indices takes longer time, 30 minutes to show clear direction. Exactly. Yeah, if you want to take a trade on the same direction, you may want to wait at least 20-30 minutes. Yeah. Drago, hello Drago. Drago, ¿eres Alan? Are you Alan, my friend? I think you are, right? All right, Lane, thank you. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for challenging here. How do you determine choose expiration date on contracts? Well, on all of the oh, Paul, sorry. I have another friend that he's always Drago. I know he has a tattoo on it on him about Drago. Okay, so how I determine my expiration. So if I'm taking a tech name, I'm always choosing the next Friday, right? So from Monday to Thursday, I just choose this week's Friday. But if I'm trading on a Friday, I'm taking the next week Friday. All right, so I'm taking always the next Friday. But for the indices, because I like to take fast trades and like short trades. I'm using the same day expiration, uh, but I'm experienced on that, and I have a very strict risk management system for that. So just make sure that you trade according to your risk tolerance and to your skills, right? Yeah. So the bottom line, if you are new to trading, don't try same day expiration. They require a bit more experience, and also they require to have a different risk management plan, right? But I usually just again, so for tech names, I usually take next Friday, and for indices, I take same day expiration. Uh, all right, so let's go to the next one. The next one is Tesla. Tesla went over these 345.26 previous day high. It was a nice break and retest. It struggled a bit on this area here, but once you reclaim this key level here, 942. Why? I want you to type here on the chat why I'm opening my position right here on this candle and not on this one here. Why 942 and not 939? I'm reading your comments. If you don't know the answer, take these seconds to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you know the answer, I'm waiting for your answers here on the comments. Why I'm opening this position right here, 942, and not here, 939? Come on, guys. I need at least one. Candle close. Nope. Another one. Because it's above the little consolidation. Wait for the weak candle below the level to confirm. Same reaction with the indices. Well, a few things. First, right here, this 942, it's actually showing relative strength, right? And secondly, it's just because 939, it's in the first 10 minutes. I don't like the first 10 minutes, guys. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. But also, I mean, if you are, like taking a deeper look to this also here, look at the reaction right here, 345. So bounce from 345, bounce from 345, bounce from 345, and this candle here, it's actually starting above 345, right? Above 345. So this candle looks way better than this. And also it's after our 10-minute window, right? It's after our 10-minute window. So yeah, so that's all, some context here. So that's the main reason of this candle here. So you reclaim this previous day high, open your position right here. Your risk, it's right here, 344.50, and you are aiming to 348.50. Look at this, it was a 1 to 2.7 risk reward ratio trade, and this was very easy to manage. The high of the day was a 1 to 1.5, but to the key levels right here, let's say 348, it was a 1 to 2.3. So this was a nice trade. And then after that, it just followed everyone else's behavior, right? It fell below the previous day high, rejection, try to reclaim, rejection, try to reclaim, more rejection, and with this rejection right here, then I will be convinced to take a trade right here. So if you open your position right here, you had your risk at the top of these candles here, and you are aiming to intraday key levels, right? So this is the 1 minute opening range. This was a 1 to 3.7. This is the opening price. Look at this. This is the opening price. It was a 1 to 4.4. And look at the reaction. There's actually no reaction until here, right? So if you took this trade, you should be having at least a 1 to 6 risk reward ratio trade, because this was the only good reaction right here. All these candles, no reaction, no reaction, no reaction. Sellers overwhelming buyers. So look at this, no reaction until here, 339. So that was a nice trade on Tesla. Again, fell under previous day high, try to reclaim, rejection, try to reclaim, rejection, try to reclaim, more rejection, and as you can see here, this was creating a trend line to the downside, right? So every rejection was heavier than the previous one, and it was a lower rejection, right? Anyone took this Tesla trade? Felipe, Neto, I jumped Tesla 948, 948, 948, 948, break and retest of high of the day. Okay, 948, right here. This was actually a very nice reaction here. This was actually a very nice reaction here. So 948 is this one here. Something like this. It just didn't have continuation, right? But to high of the day was 122. Look at this, 349.50. It was the 1-2 risk reward rated trade. It was just unfortunate that this didn't work, right? Because this 948 was actually a few candles before a very nice reaction on the indices. It just didn't happen on here. Look at this. This candle 950, it was a very nice reaction on SPY and QQQ, but right here on Tesla, it didn't do anything. It didn't do anything. So this was unfortunate. You should be stopped right here. Maybe this 958 or 959 candle. Stop loss 346.27. Yeah, so right here on this candle here. Good, good, good. All right. And after that, guys, again, same thing. Opening, looking for calls, failing the whole market and all the names, to start looking for the weakest point here, right? So this is the weakest point, rejection, 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 and you took the ride to the downside. All right. Felix, hello Neto, your levels in higher time frame belongs to different chart layout, and you have another chart layout for the intraday. Yes, it's possible. So look, on the 15-minute chart, this is like my sniper views. Sniper view. So I have I usually have right here the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15-minute or the 1 hour chart. So I just open this, and here on the 15-minute or this higher time frame, if you click on this word, every line that I draw here, it's gonna be across all of the layouts. Across all of the layouts. I have it deactivated right now because everything that I draw on the trades review layout, I don't want it on my day-to-day charts. But look at this. I mean, let's do this. If I draw a box right here on the 15-minute chart. Oh, it was an Nvidia. It's right here. Can you see it? It's right here. So now no, it's not. It's this one. It's this one here. So if I delete it here, because it's this little word activated, it's gone from this. But as you can see, everything that I do on this trade review layout, because it doesn't have this global sync on or activated, that's why it doesn't show right here, right? But yes, I mean, it's a different setup. And you can sync them if you just click on this here. Look at this. New drawings will sync in layout. New drawings will sync globally. So you just come here and do this, all right? So it was Tesla. The next one was Microsoft. Just as I said, I mean, once the markets or the indices were just dropping and dropping and dropping, they took all of the names with them. So I was watching this 1 minute opening range low after this rejection of the previous day high. So remember, previous day high and pre-market high, if you fail to reclaim them, you are more oriented to fill the gap or to be inside of the previous day range. So that's what you start looking for, right? So here it failed to reclaim pre-market high. It came below the previous day high. So what are you watching now? Well, you are watching this sort of trend line here. And look at this rejection of this trend line right here. That was your signal, right? It was the 1 minute opening range low, rejection of this trend line. You fell under the previous day high. You failed to reclaim the pre-market high. So this name is just screaming downside. All right. So right here, look at this. This was a 1-to-5 risk reward ratio trade on this break and retest of the 1 minute opening range low, and only aiming to low of the day. But this actually went all the way to here. So you may have a 1-to-9 or almost 10 risk reward ratio trade. That was amazing. This is Palantir, guys. Same thing. After you start looking all the weakness here, this Palantir thing was following QQQ very closely. You can see this one, right? I mean, this is showing just like a twin of QQQ. So if this is following QQQ, you start looking at the same market structure, same reaction, same rejections on the same places. So you just start looking for opportunities to the downside. And look how many opportunities we have here. Break and retest of the 5 minute opening range low, break and retest of this previous day close, break and retest of this previous local low, break and retest of this previous high low of the day. So look at this. I mean, and this is just going and going and going and going again. All right. So this is just market structure. Once the price starts dropping, you just watch the market structure. Hey, you had here a change of character. Well, that's your moment to go out on that position. All right. All right. That was Palantir. Apple. I don't like Apple, and I don't remember why I opened this position. I think it was the break and retest of this pre-market high. Look at this 231.23. That was the pre-market high. Nice reaction here. So you open your position here. You aim to 232.50. That was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. But look at this. This actually went almost to 235. So yeah, that was a very nice trade. That was a very nice trade. It's just I don't trust Apple. Look at this. And this was showing relative strength. Can you see here? Markets were dropping and this thing was ripping like crazy. Felipe, your second entry on Apple, 1001. 1001 here. Look at this. Break, displacement, retest of pre-market high. So you took the trade right there. And your stop loss 231.23. The pre-market high. Looking for a high of the day. Well, this was a very small trade, but I hope you follow something more. All right. Anyone took a different Apple trade than this? I think this was, what the heck? 235. Look at the rejection right here, 235. Pfft, crazy. Crazy, crazy. So anyone took a different Apple trade than Felipe? That was a very nice entry, Felipe. That was a very nice entry. It's very clear break, displacement, retest of this pre-market high, and then continuation. That was a very nice one. Very, very nice one. Congratulations. All right, let's go to the next one. More downside. This is Google 203.89. Let me show you why. 203.89. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. Look at this, 203.89. That was a key level on the 15-minute chart from yesterday. So we had this fail. Look at this. Fail to reclaim previous day high. Fail of pre-market high. So what are you looking now? Downside. So break, displacement, retest 203.89. That was a nice entry here. So if you open your position here, you have your stop loss at the top of these candles, and you start looking for the intraday or short term key levels. So this was previous day close, and look at this. No reaction right here, and your first reaction was around here. So this might be easily a 1 to 4.5 risk reward ratio trade. Anyone took Google today? J trades. You did 936 on the lower. It made restated and push up on Apple. Okay. Good job, Felipe. Nice. You are catching up with the vibe of this. All right. Declan, I took the retest of the 5-minute opening range, then the 5-minute reclaim of that level after getting stop out on the first trade. You both are talking about Apple, right? Declan, yeah, on Apple. All right. 936. 936. Break, displacement, retest, pre-market high. Again, guys, I know you love Apple. I know you love key levels, but this is just too early for me. This is just too early for me. I don't even know how to explain why this failed. Right? I mean, it just came back for this previous day high, and it actually worked nicely, but it required a deeper pullback. Not just the pre-market high, but the previous day high. Nice hold here to 30.50, and then it ripped, and it ripped heavily. That was a very nice one. All right. Google, Meta, this is the 84% rule several times on the same spot, and it was a money printing machine, this pre-market low. Look at this. Well, this first one failed, but the second, look at this. It went all the way to 787, came back, retested, rejected, all the way to 787, and then failed. It went all the way to 783. That was a nice one. And well, I wanted to explain you my trade on SPY. So right here, guys, right here, neckline here, break, displacement, retest, and from here it just went market structure. Can you see? Anyone took an SPY put trade today, or QQQ. QQQ was kind of the same thing. And, oh, this was my entry right here, rejection of this neckline. And I just took every push, every hard push on key levels. And I closed my position on this change of character here. All right. You took Namu Siwa 1029. 1029. 1029 here. All right. This was the break retest of this 5-minute opening range low. You waited for the next kind of confirmation candle. How deep you took it? Where did you exit here? 1029, something like here. Something like here. Pre-market low. Namusiwa, where did you exit? Or what was your target at least? Something like this, I believe. Felipe, my target was pre-market low. Yeah, this one here. That was a very nice one. Very, very nice one. So guys, that's it. Sorry I took 90 minutes of your day today. I was trying to share as much as I can today. I was looking at beautiful trades today. I think we have a lot of opportunities to the upside, to the downside. And that's the beauty of options trading, right? I mean, you just don't care what the market is doing. You can make money going up, going down, going sideways. That's it. That's how we do it. So thank you very much for joining. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, bring your friends, bring other traders. Let's see if we can grow this community. And well, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.